The ultimate guide to plan your Efteling visit in 2024. How are you going to make reservations to dine with knights? When can you see Pardoes and Pardijntje up close and personal? And when is the new attraction Danse Macabre going to open? We're covering the answers to these questions and many more in the ultimate 2024 guide for planning your trip to Efteling. Let's dive in. Hi everybody, it's Koen from Dutch Theme Park Network, and today we're covering everything you need and want to know about Efteling, one of the best theme parks out there, suitable for the whole family. Let's start with some Efteling 101. There is a lot going on at Efteling, and that's going to be clear immediately when you arrive at the park. You can see a major building project when you arrive at the parking lot. Efteling is building a new grand hotel in the park right next to the current entrance, the House of the Five Senses. When the Efteling started building, the plans were to open this hotel in 2024. But when you follow our news updates, you already know that due to some issues with the manufacturer of crucial parts of the hotel, like the walls and floors, the opening has been postponed and the hotel will open in 2025. Efteling is also building a new attraction at the heart of its park. The attraction Spookslot closed due to the decaying state of the attraction and the immense costs to maintain it and its decline of popularity over the years. We're looking forward to the opening of the new attraction Danse Macabre this year. More on this later. The park is divided into 5 sections. When you enter the park, you can either go straight on to the Pardoes Promenade, which is part of the realm of fantasy. Here you can find the Castle Symbolica, a must-do trackless dark ride in the park where you go on an audience to meet King Pardulfus. Also in this realm you find Fabula, a 4D cinema. This realm has 2 major restaurants. The quick service restaurant Fabula, including a large indoor playground, and the pancake restaurant Polle's Kitchen. When you walk straight up to Symbolica, you can enter the Fairytale Forest by going left before you reach the pancake restaurant. The Fairytale Forest has 2 entrances. This one, next to Polle's Kitchen, lets you start your journey in the forest at Langnek. For the official entrance, you'll have to walk a little bit further and turn left right after the diorama. You can also find the iconic Fairytale Forest sign here. In the Fairytale Forest, you can wander around between the famous fairy tales like Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood, and Cinderella. You can find lesser-known fairy tales like Donkey Lift Your Tail, or, as most people know him, the Coin-Shitting Donkey, the Indian Water Lilies, and 2 talking trees, Kniezoor and the Fairytale Tree. When you follow the red brick road, you will encounter all the fairy tales and eventually reach the exit. Close to the Fairytale Forest is Ruigrijk. In this area, you can find the must-do attraction Dream Flight, the dark ride where you fly through dreams, and the Madhouse Villa Volta. Walking onward from that, you can find the village of Laaf and the amazing Anton Pieck Square with all the carousels. Walking onwards, you will encounter Ruigrijk, the travel realm, with the indoor coaster Vogelrok, the It's a Small World-inspired dark ride Carnaval Festival, the scenic boat ride Gondoletta, and Sirocco. You can also choose to turn right after you enter the park and walk up to Anderrijk, which could be translated as the other realm. Here you find Fata Morgana, another must-do dark ride that best compares to Pirates of the Caribbean, and Max and Moritz, a 2-track powered family coaster. Also, the rapid river Piranha is part of this realm. When you first go to Fata Morgana and Max and Moritz, you can walk onwards to the coaster area Ruigrijk, where you will find dive coaster Baron 1898, steel coaster Python, wooden coaster George and the Dragon, and of course the Flying Dutchman, a dark ride / water coaster. The Efteling is a big park with lots to do and a lot of ways to get around. We encourage you to download the Efteling app to find your way around. This app not only has a park plan, but it provides a route to the attractions you want to visit. You can also see the waiting times in the app. You can make reservations, and you can mobile order to save you precious time in the park. The Efteling has Wi-Fi with a pretty good coverage, so you can use the app in the parks by getting on the Efteling guest Wi-Fi. In the app you will also see show times. There are a couple of must-do shows. One is Fabula. Fabula is a 4D theatre that runs continuously and shows a movie about Klaas Vaak, the Sandman, that teaches a grumpy bear a lesson and where you can witness the founding of an unexpected friendship between a squirrel and a bear. Other must-do shows are the amphitheatre show with horses called Ravelijn and the nighttime spectacular Aquanura. This is a fountain show set to the music of the park's most iconic attractions that plays at the end of the day. The show playing in the Efteling Theatre is Caro. It requires an additional ticket, but it is a show that is well worth its money. It's a 70-minute long show suitable for the entire family. It is language independent, and it is a show with dance, acrobatics, and depicts a beautiful story about the cycle of life. Most frequently asked questions is, when should I come? And honestly, we cannot give you a good answer for this, but we can give a lot of information so you can make your own informed decision, because every season has its benefits and downsides, and it depends on what you find most important on your trip. The Netherlands has 4 seasons. In the winter it can go from -10 to +10 degrees Celsius. It can snow, but it doesn't happen often. Mostly you'll deal with a light drizzle or a small ray of sunshine. Efteling celebrates Winter Efteling with extra entertainment, decorations, and additional shows in the period of halfway through November till halfway through January. In this season, the Efteling is absolutely gorgeous when it's dark, which will be from 5 p.m. onwards. From the beginning of March, the spring begins, and with the Netherlands being the flower capital of the world, it is also a beautiful time to visit Efteling. Efteling is also a nature park, and they plant enormous amounts of flowers. Temperatures range from 10 degrees to sometimes even 20 degrees, but there is still a chance that it will snow. Rain is also very common in this period, or basically any period, because it rains a lot in our country. It rains so much we've got very good apps to predict rain on the day itself. It's called Buienradar, and it can notify you when rain is expected, so you can find some shelter beforehand. We'll put a link in the description, but in essence, when you plan a trip to the Netherlands, bring an umbrella. Summer starts from the beginning of June, and the summer Efteling starts from July. The weather is mostly good, up to 30 degrees Celsius. But a lot of school holidays are also in this period, so it is the busiest time of year to go. The park stays open until 8 p.m. or even 10 p.m. in the busiest periods of time. The autumn starts from September and onward. You can expect more rain and temperatures between 10 and 30 degrees. The last years we had a residual heat wave in September. The Efteling does not celebrate Halloween, but it is a busy period for the park because of locals who buy tickets in advance with a local promotion. We expect extra crowds at Efteling this October though. Efteling announced that the newest attraction, Danse Macabre, will open its doors in October, and there are a lot of references so far to the second Tuesday of October, which will be the 8th of October 2024. The opening of this new attraction will cause an increase of visitors in the park, and we also expect, or maybe hopefully wish, that special events or evenings will be organized in this period to celebrate the opening of this new spooky attraction that is replacing Efteling's Spookslot. We covered weather as a deciding factor, seasonal events, and we mentioned crowds, but let's dive a little bit deeper into that subject. The Efteling can get very crowded, but hardly ever sells out. The only time they do sell out is New Year's Eve. This special event sells out weeks before the 31st of December. For all other days, the best indication is the crowd calendar on the website of Efteling. Dutch school holidays and bank holidays are an indicator, but also Belgian, German, French and English holidays can cause crowds at Efteling, being a popular international destination. Other causes are school trips and company events, so if you want to plan your trip on the more quiet days, then visit the crowd calendar. We'll put a link in the description. The crowd calendar gives a really good indication of the crowds expected in the park. For a good indication of crowds, you can also look at the planned maintenance calendar. The advantage of fewer crowds is of course shorter waiting times, but also keep in mind that the Efteling is open every day of the year, so they schedule maintenance mostly during the off-season. So if you want to experience as many rides as possible, then you might want to consider going when crowds are higher, because fewer attractions will be closed. You can also find the scheduled maintenance on the site of Efteling App. We'll also include this link in the description. Bear in mind, though, that this calendar changes from time to time and it only includes scheduled maintenance. Rides don't always adhere to this schedule and can break down on other days and therefore be closed unannounced. Up next, where should you stay and why? The Efteling has some pretty cool on-property resorts and hotels. Loonseland has different kinds of cottages. It's the farthest away from the park and about a 15-minute walk towards the entrance of Efteling. Loonseland also has a hotel, and it is the most affordable option to stay on site. Bosrijk also has cottages and a hotel, but is a little bit more upscale, and it has a small indoor pool. The Efteling Hotel. Bosrijk is a 10-minute walk to the entrance of Efteling. Finally, we have the Efteling Hotel. The hotel has a separate entrance to the park, which makes the closest option. The Efteling Hotel is the oldest on-site accommodation. This hotel dates from the early 90s. All rooms had a renovation in 2023, but the lobby, restaurant and hotel bar can feel a little outdated. The biggest difference between the hotels and the cottages is the small kitchen the cottages offer. You can bring and prepare your own food to the resort and to the park. This can be a big advantage when you're on a special diet or when you want to save a little money. Although food and drinks in the Efteling are not that expensive, it is less expensive to buy them in a grocery store and bringing them. There are 2 grocery stores in walking distance of Efteling in the town of Kaatsheuvel, Jumbo and Albert Heijn. Both are good supermarkets and the prices only slightly differ, where Jumbo is a little bit less expensive than Albert Heijn. You can also get yourself some basics in the shops of Loonseland and Bosrijk. The prices are higher than at Jumbo or Albert Heijn, but of course you also get the convenience of a shorter walking range. The perk from staying on site is mostly that you can enter the park half an hour earlier and already ride Baron 1898 with no queue whatsoever, or ride Dreamflight. It's a magical 30 minutes with very few people in the park. Not all attractions are offered in this extra time. Attractions that mostly are available next to Baron and Dreamflight are Vogelrok, Carnaval Festival and Max and Moritz. Of course, you can also stay off-site. In the town next to Efteling, Kaatsheuvel, there are various hotels, little B&Bs and a campsite. In the region of Brabant, there are vacation homes and cottages, so there is a lot to find. Most important is what you can afford. Most hotels and cottages in the neighborhood of Efteling do offer a discount ticket when you stay. Keep in mind that staying on site can actually be the best value for you because the entrance prices are included in your stay for all the days you are there, including the day you arrive. Efteling does not sell multiple day passes, so when you stay off-site, you need to buy an entrance ticket for every day you want to visit. The most expensive ticket for Efteling this year is €51 per person. But you can buy tickets on the website starting at €38, and they become more expensive if it is expected to be a busy day in the park. When you buy a ticket for Efteling, you buy them for a certain date. This year there will be a new feature. You can easily change this date yourself using the app. When you want to come on a day that is expected to be busier than the original day you were planning to come, then you pay the difference when you change the date. Traveling to Efteling. You can reach Efteling easily by car and via public transport. When you travel to Efteling by car, keep in mind that you have to buy a parking ticket of €12.50 per car to park at Efteling. When you stay on property, you can park your car for free at the resorts. When traveling to Efteling, you can also use public transport. You can get to Efteling by bus, and the buses to Efteling depart from the train station in the cities of Tilburg and Den Bosch. You can plan your trip easily using 9292OV. We'll put the link in the description below. The number of days you want to come also varies from person to person, but our advice is to come at least 2 days and preferably 3. It is in no way possible to see and do everything on one day. All the shows, entertainment and rides are enough to fill 2 very full days, so give yourself some time to relax and soak it all in and come 3 days. Things that are less fun when visiting Efteling. We covered that you can potentially come on a busy day, and that means waiting for rides, attractions, shows and food. Efteling does not have fast passes or paid passes to skip lines, and that is a big bonus, because it means lines do move fast. Lines at Efteling are more often than not 10 minutes, but the busy days when you have to wait an hour to go on Dreamflight do exist. This line does move continually though, and therefore it always feels okay. So don't be scared off when you see an hour on the sign. The attraction is absolutely worth it, and the lines are not so bad. If you are unable to wait because of a physical or mental condition, then it is possible to download the facility card or get one at the guest services when you enter the park. This card will make sure you can use the special entrances to attractions. You can also use these cards when you are wheelchair dependent or can't climb stairs. For every ride it is required, you can get into and out of the ride on your own and stay in a sitting position during the ride. Unfortunately, not all attractions can come to a complete stop. For the attraction Dreamflight, you have to be able to enter a moving vehicle by yourself, for example. But most rides will cater to your needs, and there is always staff on site to answer your questions and help you along. For rides that aren't accessible, Efteling offers video-based alternatives. At Villa Volta, you can attend the pre-shows. After the second pre-show, the disabled person enters another room where you can see the main experience on a screen. At Dreamflight, the experience is offered in virtual reality, including wind and scent. Most rides are accessible for everybody, no matter your size, but there are a few rides that require you to be of a certain height and body type. Max and Moritz is accessible when you're at least a meter high. You must be under the guidance of an adult if you're between a meter and 1 meter and 30 centimeters. For George the Dragon, you must be at least 1 meter and 10 centimeters. For Python, you must be at least 1 meter and 20 centimeters. For Baron 1898, you must be at least 1 meter and 32 centimeters. For Vogelrok, you must be at least 1 meter and 20 centimeters. Python and Vogelrok are a good fit for all body sizes. The other coasters have seats outside where you can check if the coaster is a good fit for you when you're in doubt. All these rides also have a baby switch option, so if you're traveling with children that cannot go on all rides, all the adults in your party can still enjoy them. How does this work? Well, the first person stands in line and then gets on the ride and then tells the employee that he or she wants to use the baby switch option. The employee will then provide you with all the information you need. Keep in mind that you will be walking a lot during your day at Efteling. It is possible to hire a wheelchair or scooter at Efteling. Those options will be available when you enter the park, but you will have to make a reservation before you visit. Without a reservation, a wheelchair or scooter might not be available for you. For children, little pool chairs are available to rent. There is no need to make a reservation for pool chairs. Another important tip is when you bring a stroller, bring a lock. Locks can also be bought at Efteling, and apparently, sad as it is necessary. Strollers have been stolen in the park. Thankfully, we only have good experiences in the park, and most of the times everything goes well. But apparently there are people that take strollers when they are unattended, parked outside of rides. It is always good to be mindful of your possessions in crowded places, also at Efteling. Another thing that can be less fun is language. Efteling is in the Netherlands, so the main language is Dutch. You will find that almost everybody speaks English to some degree. People can tell you the way, take your order, and if you have more complicated questions, check the name tag of the employee. It will show which languages they speak. Most of the shows in the park are language dependent and Dutch. The stories are not complicated, but you will miss things in pre-shows or during street performances. One way to go is accept it and enjoy what you can. Have some fun making up what you can't understand. You can also check our channel and several websites for the shows with subtitles. It might be up there, although we don't have everything yet. If you are really curious about something, let us know in the comments and we can prioritize filming it and making subtitles. The last thing you can do is use apps like Google Translate. You can record audio or make a picture of a text and it will be translated for you. The Efteling is also working on tech that will translate things in real time, but it is not live yet, and we have heard no rumors as to when it will be available. The last thing to bear in mind is not everything is always open. You might miss that snack you really wanted to try because the venue is closed, or a ride breaks down or closes due to weather circumstances. This can happen on any day you visit. You can't plan for this stuff. The Efteling is obliged to open every day, so you can't get a refund or something like that. Make sure you enjoy everything you can do during the day, and try not to focus on the stuff that you may not get to do. Speaking of snacks, let's dive into food. Where and what should and shouldn't you eat? Let's start at dinner. The Efteling resorts have a lot of restaurants varying from over-the-counter takeout and takeout services. They even have a very good bar, but more on that later. You can find the best restaurants at the resorts. The Efteling Hotel, Bosrijk and at Loonseland have table service restaurants and they are all very good. The hotel had the more upscale restaurant with a romantic vibe. Good for date night. Bosrijk and Loonseland are good for families. Both are very good for a relaxed meal after a long day of walking. There are also several table service restaurants at the park. Restaurant Ravelijn is next to the Theatre of Ravelijn and it comes with a little show where children are trained as knights. When you don't speak Dutch, you can tell a member of staff during your reservation. They will catch you up quickly in a short talk, but the show won't make the most sense. The food at Ravelijn is good, very rustic, and the drinks, the standard sodas, tapped beers, and the red and white wine are included in the price. The second restaurant is Pinocchio's. You find this one as the entrance in the Efteling Theatre. It serves pastas and pizzas, and it used to come with entertainment, but that is no more. Still, it is a good place when you are hunkering for a pizza or pasta. Mind that Ravelijn and Pinocchio's are not always open, and when they are, they tend to sell out, so make a reservation for these restaurants in the Efteling app. You can do that before your actual visit, so you can reserve a table in the weeks leading up to your trip. The last table service restaurant is a fun one, and it is Polle's Kitchen. They serve savory and sweet pancakes, and a special tip from us. When you're traveling with children, let them order the magic water. They will be entertained and probably drink water and like it. You can sit outside and inside. Inside you will find that the stove gets out of control every 20 minutes or so, and outside you will have the most beautiful view of the water fountains and the castle of Symbolica. You can also reserve this restaurant in the app and save yourself some waiting time, but this restaurant also has a standby line you can wait in. When you are looking for a lunch or an easy dinner, there are so many places to choose from. Here is a pick of our favorites with things we love to eat when we are in the park. One of our favorite places to eat lunch or an easy dinner is Bakkerij Krumel. They've got good sandwiches like the egg salad sandwich. The eggs come from Frau Bolte. You can see and hear the chickens when you cross the road. Also, the thick bread pizzas are really good here, like the salami bread pizza and the one with goat cheese and figs. We also come here for one of our favorite snacks. They've got delicious cakes here too. At Station de Oost in Ruigrijk, you will find all sorts of things like a Turkish pizza with kebab. Very good, but also sandwiches and the famous Dutch fries and snacks. When you're with a group and everybody wants something else, this is the place to go. In Ruigrijk you also find a little place that sells fish and chips, also very good. Next to Vogelrok you find Kasper, a restaurant that is not owned by Efteling but by Laplace. They've got very good soups, sandwiches and a great salad bar. If you want the more healthy options, go here. Our last tip is Het Witte Paard. You can find an assortment of salad, soup and savory meals here that include fries, vegetables and, for example, the delicious Indonesian satay with peanut sauce that is very popular in the Netherlands. This is also one of the restaurants where you can find the kids menu that comes with a toadstool that you can bring home as a fun souvenir. Then on to drinks. Know that tap water in the Netherlands is very good and available for free. You can fill your bottle in restrooms and several tap water points in the park, like the Little Goose Girl, the Goose Heads, the fountain in the line of Symbolica, or the water pump at Lavelaar. Of course, tea and coffee is sold at various places in the park. The Dutch have a heavy coffee culture, so the coffee is good and there are also specials available. Bottled sodas are also available in the park. Mind that you pay an extra fee of 15 cents per bottle and 25 cents per cup. You can get this fee back when you return your bottle or cup. This is the case everywhere in the Netherlands to help the environment, to make sure fewer bottles end up in nature and more bottles are recycled. The Efteling also sells alcoholic beverages. Wine and beer are available in the park, as well as cocktails that vary seasonally. The Efteling even has special beers that are available in the resorts that are very good. We made a video where we tasted them all in a very fun afternoon. We'll link this video in the description. In the Efteling Hotel, there is a cute and cozy bar named de Gelachkamer. You can taste 2 beers here, grab a quick meal, or taste the famous Dutch bitterballen, basically a round version of the croquette. And as a bonus in the evening, Pardoes will drop by in his PJs to say goodnight. Now, snacks are plentiful, widespread and delicious. You've got sweet snacks, savory snacks, typically Dutch snacks. So much to choose from and never enough time to try them all. We absolutely recommend the stroopwafel at the Fairytale Forest, opposite Langnek. This is a typically Dutch snack and they make them fresh in the park. The thin, crispy waffles with a sweet, sticky syrup inside that is still hot when you order the freshly made one, but you can also order that one that is cooled down and dipped in chocolate and decorated with more chocolate, caramel or sprinkles. Such a good snack, which will certainly still your hunger, so also good value for money. We already mentioned the cake at Krumel. They've got several options. One topped with the earlier mentioned stroopwafel, chocolate cake covered with cherries, or from time to time specials like lemon curd. Honestly, they are all delicious, but the lemon curd holds a special place in my heart. For your savory snacks, there is also a lot to choose from. There are 2 bread rolls that are very good. The first you find all over the park are Unox stands, and they sell Dutch hot dogs. A thicker smoked sausage with a special sauce on a bun with a crispy crust. There is also the same kind of bread with a meatball sold in a stand next to Het Witte Paard. You can top it with a special peanut sauce to make it extra delicious. The snack walls are perfect for all deep-fried Dutch snacks, like a croquette, a deep-fried roll with meat ragu inside, covered in breadcrumbs, or a frikandel, which is a savory spiced sausage, or an egg roll. It's all just a tap with your credit or debit card away. This brings us to our next item: how to pay in the Netherlands. The currency of the Netherlands is the euro, and you can pay with cash at a lot of places in the park. But the Netherlands is becoming a cash-free country, where it is customary to pay with a debit or credit card. Most Dutch pay contactless, by tapping a card, a phone, or a smartwatch. So there are spots in the park where you can only pay contactless. Usually there are places nearby that offer the same service, and you can also pay with cash. Even Donkey Lift Your Tail and the Hen are now also equipped for contactless payments. You want to bring some money for souvenirs. The Efteling has some cool souvenirs and they release new ones every month. They've got pins which are enjoyed by an active collectors community. Also they sell plates, cups, clothes, cans, scents, puzzles, games and a lot of other things. Souvenirs do sell out, so the collection varies and is different every time you will visit. In our monthly news updates, we always cover the newly added merchandise, so keep your eyes on those videos if you want to be updated about all souvenirs. Another cool way to get souvenirs is the photo pass. In the Efteling app you can buy a photo pass which gives you the option to download all the attraction photos that are made of you that day. Baron 1898 also had a souvenir video that is automatically made when you download your parent photo. The app also gives you the opportunity to upload your own photos, so a souvenir video can be made for you with your own photos. The things you must know. A couple of house rules. The entire resort is smoke-free, and that includes vapes. There are dedicated smoking zones where you can smoke, but all the other places, so for example in the park, in the waiting areas and on terraces, it is smoke-free. You must stay on the paths. Efteling is a nature park and a lot of animals live in the park. To preserve this, the rule is that guests and visitors stay on the paths and don't go and wander in the parks. This of course also means you respect nature, so don't pick the flowers or the leaves. Another rule that might surprise you is that as an adult, you are not allowed to dress up as a fairy tale character. There is a story here. A couple of years ago when it was allowed, cosplayers were rude to other visitors and smoked, and people thought they were affiliated with the park. To prevent this from happening, it is now prohibited for adults who are dressed up as a princess to enter the park. Of course, children are still allowed to put on their princess outfit or dragon outfits. There are fairy tale characters you can still meet in real life. In Bosrijk and Loonseland you can meet the Sandman, and at the hotel you can meet Pardoes sporting his PJs in the evening before he goes to bed. In the morning you can meet Thomas, the Knight of Ravelijn, who joins you for breakfast. When you enter the park there are usually 1 or 2 characters near the entrance like Little Red Riding Hood, Fakir and one of the Knights of Ravelijn. Pardoes and Princess Pardijn can be found near Symbolica near his statue. Pardoes and Princess Pardijn don't have set times, but when you hang around here, you probably don't have to wait too long because they are there often, especially on busy days. Are we going to see you at Efteling in 2024? Let us know in the comments and we might see you there. We can imagine that this is a lot to take in, so we brought together everything you need to prepare yourself for the best Efteling experience in an ebook. You can buy this ebook for only €3 via our website DutchThemeParkNetwork.com or by becoming a Patreon for only €1 per month. The ebook includes worksheets and a checklist and more than 100 pages of information answering all your questions in depth. When you buy this ebook, you will help us to create more Efteling-related content. It would also help when you give a thumbs up for this video. Thank you very much for watching. See ya!